Have you ever looked at your dog and had that quiet little thought, do they know? Not just that you feed them, not just that you take them outside, not just that you are the one who opens the treat bag, fills the water bowl, clips on the leash, and walks back through the same door every day, but do they know you are their person? And maybe that question is deeper than it first sounds. Because maybe it is not about whether your dog loves you the exact way a human would describe love. Maybe the real question is, what does love look like when it cannot speak? Your dog cannot sit beside you and explain what you mean to them. They cannot say, I missed you when you were gone. They cannot say, I feel calmer when you are close. They cannot say, something about you feels like home to me. But that does not mean they are silent. They are saying things all the time, just not with words. They say it with their body, with their timing, with the way they look at you, with the way they smell your hands when you come home, with the routines they trust, with the tiny choices they make when nobody is training them, rewarding them, or asking them to perform. And once you start seeing those small choices differently, something changes. You may realize your dog has been saying, I love you, in quiet ways you walk past every single day. Here are 8 ways dogs say it without words. 1. They lean their body against you. This one can look so ordinary. Your dog walks over and presses their shoulder against your leg. Or they sit beside you on the couch and let their body sink into yours a little. Maybe you are standing in the kitchen. Maybe you are trying to answer a message. Maybe you barely notice it at first. Just a little weight, just a warm body resting against you. But that small lean can carry more meaning than people realize. A dog's body is not random space. It is their personal space, their safety zone. So when your dog chooses to place their weight against you, they are often choosing closeness in one of the simplest ways they know. They are not trying to write a love story. They are doing something much older than words. They are saying, I feel safe enough to relax against you. And that is easy to miss because we usually look for the loud signs. The jumping, the licking, the tail going crazy, the big dramatic greetings. But sometimes the strongest bond is not loud at all. Sometimes it is your dog leaning into your leg while the rest of the room keeps moving. Like your presence is not just familiar, it is a place. And that is the part that can hit you later. Your dog may not be asking for anything. They may not want food. They may not want to walk. They may not even need your full attention. They may simply be choosing you as the safest spot in the room. 2. They bring you a toy. Most people see this and think, okay, they want to play. And yes, sometimes that is exactly what is happening. Your dog grabs the toy, drops it near your feet, backs up, stares at you, and waits for the game to begin. But there is another layer here. When a dog brings you a toy, especially one they really like, they are bringing you something from their world, something that carries their smell, their excitement, their routine, their little burst of energy, and then they place it near you. That matters. To you, it may just be a squeaky toy on the floor. To your dog, it may be one of the most familiar objects in their daily life. So when they bring it to you, the message may not only be, throw this, it may also be, share this moment with me. Come into my world for a second. This is why some dogs grab a toy the moment you come home. They may not even be ready to play yet. They just need somewhere for all that feeling to go. You open the door. Your scent comes back into the house. Their routine returns. Their body fills with excitement, and they do what dogs often do with big feelings. They grab something. They carry it. They bring it to the person who matters. Not because they understand gifts the way humans do. Not because they are thinking in poetry. Not because they are trying to be cute for the camera. The toy becomes a bridge between their excitement and your return. Between their world and yours. And that is the hidden meaning. Your dog may not be giving you an object. They may be inviting you in. 3. They sleep near you. This one feels normal after a while. Your dog sleeps at the end of the bed, or beside the bedroom door, or on the floor near your side, or pressed against your feet like a small warm weight keeping you in place. And because it happens so often, we stop thinking about it. But sleep is vulnerability. For any animal, sleep is when the body lets go. The eyes close, the muscles soften, the guard drops. So when your dog chooses to sleep near you, they are making a quiet decision. They are choosing to be close to you when they are less alert. That does not always mean they are protecting you. It does not always mean they are anxious. And it does not mean your dog has to touch you every second to feel connected to you. But sleeping near you often says something very simple. You belong in my safe routine. Dogs are shaped deeply by patterns. The sound of your breathing, the smell of your room, the way the house feels at night. The familiar silence after the lights go out. The knowledge that you are nearby even if nothing is happening. That kind of repetition matters to a dog. Love for them is not always a dramatic burst of emotion. Sometimes love is predictability. It is the body learning night after night, when this human is near, I can rest. And maybe that is one of the quietest gifts dogs give us. They remind us that love is not always excitement. Sometimes love is being able to sleep. 4. They lick you gently. A lick can mean many things. Sometimes it is grooming. Sometimes it is taste. Sometimes it is excitement. Sometimes it is stress. Sometimes it is simply a behavior that got rewarded because humans smiled, laughed, or gave attention. So we have to be careful. Not every lick is a kiss. Not every lick means the same thing. But gentle licking, especially in a calm moment, can be part of social connection. Dogs understand the world through scent and taste in a way humans can barely imagine. Your skin holds information. Where you have been, what you touched, whether you were outside, whether you are sweaty, whether you smell different today. A soft lick can be a kind of check-in, a little investigation, a little contact, a little ritual of closeness. The energy around it matters. A frantic lick may point to overstimulation, stress, or anxiety. But a gentle lick with soft eyes, loose body, and relaxed breathing can feel very different. It can feel like your dog is saying, "You are familiar to me," not "I love you" in the exact human way. Something simpler. You are close. You are known. You are part of how I understand my world. And for an animal who lives so much through smell, that is not a small thing. Your dog may be reading you in a language you never learned, and still somehow you feel what it means. 5. They look at you with soft eyes. There is a look some dogs give that stays with you. Not the hard stare before barking. Not the intense focus when you are holding a treat. Not the sharp, alert look when something outside catches their attention. This is different. The face is loose. The brow is soft. The eyes blink slowly. The body is not stiff. The gaze does not demand anything from you. It just rests on you for a moment. And if you have seen that look from your dog, you probably know the feeling. It can stop you a little, because it feels like they are saying something without moving at all. Now, we should not turn every glance into a human emotion. Dogs are still dogs. Their signals depend on the whole body, the situation, and their comfort level. But relaxed eye contact with a trusted person can be part of bonding. It can show calmness, safety, and positive social connection. And here is the part many people get wrong. Your dog does not have to stare at you all the time to love you. In fact, one of the most trusting looks may be the one that comes and goes easily. They look at you. Their face softens. They blink. They look away. They stay calm. That is not distance. That is comfort. Because love in dogs is not always clinging. Sometimes it is the ability to connect without tension. A soft gaze says, "I see you, and I do not need to protect myself from you." That is a quiet kind of trust. And trust may be one of the closest things to love that a dog can give. 6. They greet you without losing control. A lot of people think the biggest greeting means the biggest love. The jumping, the barking, the spinning in circles, the frantic energy the moment the door opens. And yes, excitement can absolutely come from affection. Your return matters. Your smell comes back into the home. The routine starts to feel complete again. The person they noticed missing is suddenly there. But there is something people often overlook. A calmer greeting can be just as meaningful, sometimes even more. Maybe your dog comes to the door with a loose wag. Maybe they pick up a toy. Maybe they walk around you happily for a moment. Maybe they press close sniff you and then settle down. That does not mean they love you less. It may mean they feel secure enough not to panic every time you leave. And that is powerful. A dog who trusts the rhythm of your coming and going does not always need to fall apart when you return. Their nervous system may be saying, "You came back," like you usually do. That is not indifference. That is safety. The loudest dog is not always the most attached. The calmest dog is not always the least loving. Sometimes, love looks like joy that does not have to turn into fear. And when you see it that way, a quiet greeting becomes something beautiful, not boring, secure. 7. They match your rhythm on walks. A walk is never just a walk to your dog. It is smell, movement, information, weather, sound, choice, excitement, and connection all mixed together. So when your dog starts matching your rhythm, pay attention. Maybe they glance back to see where you are. Maybe they slow down when your steps slow down. Maybe they pause, wait, and move again when you move. Maybe they learn the pace of your body without you saying a word. That is not only obedience. It can be coordination. A bonded dog often becomes sensitive to your patterns, your speed, your turns, your pauses, the tiny shifts in your shoulders, the leash tension, the way your feet change direction before your voice does. They are not walking beside you thinking, I love my human, so I will behave perfectly. That would be too human. But their body may be saying something else. I am aware of you. I am moving through this space with you. And that changes the meaning of a walk. It is no longer just a route around the block. It becomes a quiet conversation. Every glance back asks, are we together? Every shared pause says, I know your pace. Every calm step says, the world feels better when we move as a pair. That is one of the most underrated ways dogs show connection, not through drama, through partnership. And sometimes partnership is love with its shoes on, walking beside you. 8. They check on you when you are sad. This one can feel almost strange when it happens. You are sitting differently, quieter than usual. Maybe your voice is lower. Maybe your movements are slower. Maybe you have been crying. Maybe you have not cried at all, but something in the room feels heavy. And somehow, your dog notices. They come closer. They rest their head near you. They sit beside your chair. They watch your face. They bring a toy. Or they simply stay in the room, not doing much of anything. And somehow, that is enough. Now, your dog does not understand every human problem. They do not know the exact reason your chest feels tight. They do not understand bills, or grief, or pressure, or heartbreak, or the things you keep replaying in your mind. But dogs are very sensitive to changes. Body language, tone of voice, scent, movement, routine. They may not know the story, but they can notice that you are not quite yourself. And because you are important in their world, that change matters. This is where their love becomes very quiet. Your dog may not know why you hurt, but they know something is different. And instead of trying to solve it, they may simply stay. That is not a small thing. Humans often rush to explain pain. Fix it, name it, argue with it, make it make sense. Dogs offer something much simpler. Presence. No advice, no judgment, no questions. Just a warm body nearby that seems to say, I noticed you changed, and I am still here. Maybe that is why it reaches us so deeply, because your dog's love is not built from words. It is built from repetition. You came home again. You filled the bowl again. You touched them gently again. You walked the same streets again. You became familiar again and again and again. And over time, familiar became safe. Safe became trust. Trust became a bond. And that bond started showing up in all the little things you may have overlooked. The lean, the toy, the place they choose to sleep, the gentle lick, the soft eyes, the calm greeting, the shared rhythm on a walk, the quiet check-in when your world feels heavy. Your dog may never say, I love you. Not in words, not in the language we keep waiting for. But maybe they have been saying it every day, in dog language. And once you learn how to listen, your relationship starts to feel different. You stop looking only for the big proof. You begin noticing the small proof, the ordinary proof, the proof that was always there. Because to a dog, love is often not a sentence. It is a pattern. And somewhere inside your dog's daily pattern, they may already be telling you the same thing over and over. You are my safe place.